Did the countdown work?
Hello, everyone.
The countdown did not work. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Crypto Night in Canada. Dun, 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 dun,
Oh, stop it. The season's over. They're all golfing.
Na, 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 na. How is everybody tonight? Welcome. We got Ryan from the HiRye channel, and we got Haas in the house. This is amazing. And I'm just looking to see. Oh, Ken, you're the first one here. What the
How
heck?
come you're
Why
not
are
on
you?
the stream?
Yeah, why
Yeah, I
aren't you
did
on the
send you the
stream?
link.
That's funny. Candace, hey, Gary, Eric, this is awesome. We have 15 viewers already. This is amazing. How's everybody's week been going?
Yeah, not too bad. I think the green candles are making everyone feel really good. I know I'm happy as a pig in mud, but yeah, it's been a good week.
Us too.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a minute, but that's good. And Ryan, you still liking? You still doing good with the stocks and stuff?
I'm just trying something new with my channel this week, and it's working out. I'm trying a bunch of new things, but I'm feeling pretty good about it. I mean, well, a lot of stuff we can talk about in the show, but yeah, I've had a pretty good week, stocks, crypto, and the channel, so I'm pretty happy with it.
Excellent. Yes, Chris, I have shaken it. I'm on day 17 or 18.
Yeah, he's killing 18. It, guys. He's killing it.
Yeah, so far so good.
It's a matter of whether he can sustain it.
I see all these posts going day 250, and I blew it, and it's like, yeah, I'd really feel nuts after day 200. I mean, I feel bad after day 1 and missing it. Jeez. I mean, this guy is like, get off the bridge, man.
Yeah, don't jump.
Do you ever look on that Facebook channel or the Facebook page on Facebook? It's called Crypto Canada or Canada Crypto. You ever look at that? You see, and sorry, folks, I don't mean to be mean to anyone, but there are some really dumbass comments on that one.
Why did you have to go down that path?
Because this is what gains excitement. Some guy says, I bought my ETH at 1,700 and I sold at 1,500. Should I have done that? And it's like,
mm-hmm. And
I took a loss, and it's like, oh my God, did I do the wrong thing? And my fingers are poised like this on the keyboard, and I thought, got to breathe and count to 10. So I did 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and move on.
Yeah. Grady decided to join us tonight. He says, hi, everybody. He got a little fright. I don't know whether you frightened him.
He was about to bark, and I pulled his tail.
Oh, that's why he's shaking, and he was like, he's sitting here and he's shaking like a leaf. Anyway, so I'm sorry if he's a distraction. I don't mean him to be, but he's feeling a little nervous, aren't you, fella?
Here he goes.
I know. He doesn't like loud noises. He doesn't like bangs. He doesn't like. We rescued him when he was a pup, and so we've got some residual issues.
And of course, having an owner like me doesn't help.
Oh yeah, because Tim loves to tease, and I go, stop teasing him. We're trying to get him to not be so scared.
Yeah, one of the tricks is that you close the screen door on the patio, and then you open it and say squirrel, and into the squirrel. I'm joking. I don't do that. I do that with the neighbor's dog, but I don't do it with mine.
No, stop it. Jeez. Anyways, this was a very crazy kind of week. There's lots of news going on, and I just, for those of you, Tim, maybe you could put up Haas's channel. So if anybody hasn't been to Haas's channel, you posted a video about an hour ago, Haas, and I watched it before the live stream, and I have questions. So sorry, things fell. He's better. Let me just get my stuff together.
Hey, that rhymed.
I know. Things fell.
That's awesome. He's better. Let me get my stuff together. That's great. Yeah, well planned. I would like to just say we're 5 minutes past another green candle close, so we have 8 days, 8 green candles closed in a row. Green.
How do they determine if it runs all the time? How do they determine end of day, for instance?
So, I think it's based on the universal time calculator or whatever universal time is. Any new day.
There's some miner going, it's 8 o'clock somewhere in the world.
Exactly. That's a good point.
That's like that song by Jimmy Buffett. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Now we can say it's 8 o'clock somewhere.
Here we go.
Anyway, so You quoted, well, I'll get back to the Anthony Pompliano quote, but can you take a few minutes and explain the stock to flow model that predicts that you think predicts Bitcoin to 100,000 by September? So before you jump into that, we've just had a bit of a run, as you said, 8 days. And what's it sitting at now? It's just shy of 40,000 US. Is that what it ended at?
So Bitcoin right now, I think the daily candle close, like I'm looking at it right now, right at 40,000, maybe like $5 under. So 39,994 was the close for yesterday. Today it's currently at 39,890 as of right now. Now, I want to be clear about the stock to flow. So there's a lot of people that say, hey, Bitcoin is going to 100K by September. I'm not in that camp. What I was doing, it was presenting the stock to flow model, which is what everyone uses to reference, say, no, Bitcoin's going to 100K. Which Bitcoin sure is going to go to 100K, but is it going to happen in September? That's, I mean, like, hey, like I can be as bullish as the next guy and I see this and, it looks super bullish. But the fact of the matter is we're still below 42,000. So we're still below a major point of resistance. And we're still not above the 20-week EMA on our weekly, which essentially just means that we have two major points of resistance that we have to battle through before we can even think that we're bullish again. So really people saying that, hey, we're going to 100K within a few months, I think they need to strap in for a little bit longer of a ride. Now, again, I've always thought that we're probably going to get a bull market, like more and more bullish into 2022, maybe the end, and then see a market peak near the end of 2022 or even in early 2023. That's more what I think is going to happen. But that being said, it's, I can't deny that it's possible that we go to 100K by September. I would just say that that's not what I think is going to happen, and I don't think that's a likely scenario. But stock to flow is basically just the ratio of mining, so it's all dependent on the happening.
One of the things I picked up from your video was also the fact that you're saying that a lot of people are going on 4-year cycles because that's where the halvings are, right? And yet this cycle is not sort of mirroring your typical 4-year cycle.
Right now, I'd say it's abnormal. Yeah,
right.
Even if it goes right now and goes to September, well, like that's still a little bit short compared to like other market cycles, right? And like I mean, ultimately, I could be wrong, and a lot of other people could be wrong because this is not just me in this camp. But also, if we are wrong, what happens once the halving is done? Once all Bitcoin is mined, because that's going to happen in 2100s. So what happens then, right? We'll be dead, but at the same time, the market cycle is not going to be dictated by halving. So I don't think the halving is what drives these market cycles as much as people think it is. I for whatever reason, I'm skeptical.
There was one question I had about, I think currently there's 18.8 million of the 21 million Bitcoin in circuit or is out there, whether they're in a wallet or whether they're in circulation or whether they're lost or whatever the case is, but they've used up 18.8 million according to Coin Market Cap. I think that app is. What stops a sailor? What stops a Tesla or Elon from going and just buying up the rest?
Cash supply. Like that's legitimately it. Now, if you think about it, so I can't remember. Oh God, I wish I could give credit. Somebody famous said this, but essentially all the top millionaires can't own one Bitcoin. There's not enough Bitcoin to go around. So if you own one Bitcoin, you could arguably be like higher than top millionaires. Because there's not enough. And that's the thing that people need to understand about Bitcoin is it's incredibly scarce. And yes, the rich people can amass like a huge amount of Bitcoin. There's nothing stopping them from doing so as long as they can buy it in whatever ways that they can buy it. And yeah, there's going to be problems there. There's going to be whales. There's going to be the uber rich that just have crap tons of Bitcoin. But at the same token, it's going to be super bullish just for your financial future just to own one Bitcoin. I know that sounds daunting right now, but even like 0.5 Bitcoin, 0.1 Bitcoin is going to be a huge amount in the future. So I mean, it's an issue because people are going to get super wealthy because they made a good bet, but arguably they're taking the risk now early on to make this bet. So I mean, it's argued that they deserve it, especially in a free market. So
I love it. Hey, welcome, Ken. Nice to see you.
Evening.
And Mr. Mark Lazarick's in the house now. This is awesome.
Hello, everyone. Great to see you all.
Look, I love your Buffalo Bills baseball cap.
Stop. I have to say I'm hopeful. I'm pretty excited. The alumni called from Notre Dame yesterday and gave us the go-ahead on our Western New York Notre Dame trip. So hopefully, if they open the borders, I'll be able to attend that because it's my favorite weekend of the year. So
good stuff.
Yeah,
nice.
Good stuff. You better ask your question before the dog barks.
Oh yeah, yeah. Debbie saying easy, go Pats. Listen,
there you go, Debbie. There you go.
This is Mark Lazarick. He's a total Patriots fan.
Yeah, but I think, Debbie, you're in Florida, and they're a little out of control there with the pandemic now. So it just might be the flu that's going on down there. So,
And she said she was just at Notre Dame. You would like my friend Debbie. Anyways, we were just talking about some comments that
Tim Perry.
Oh, I was just saying, I was going to say that looks like Tim Perry.
What is Pear Bear? Oh, dear God. Oh, no.
There's a story behind that. There's got to be a story
back done to the boy. Oh, no. He's not coming back the same, folks. He's not coming back the same.
He's gonna chime in and chirp in.
He's
on
invested
this.
everything in Tether.
Oh no, he did not. Stop that.
He's all in beefy and DeFi you know that.
Yeah.
There's a story. I bet there is.
There's a story,
doesn't it? I know exactly what it has to do with.
Oh, now. Anyway, so just for Mark and well, Ken heard most of it. We were just talking about some of what was in Hawes's video that he posted tonight, and I'm just kind of really trying to get my head wrapped around the stock to flow model. I think it sounds like it seems like it would be sound. So you're looking at how much inventory there is to what's flowing. Would that be correct?
So I want to be specific, with the stock to flow. I think it's a good model, but I don't think it's a good way to dictate market cycles. I firmly believe in lengthening market cycles that are going to gradually go longer over time. There's a dog that's very upset. That are gradually going to go longer over time, or we're going to have diminishing returns every cycle. Now, if it is simply as easy as, hey, the halvening happens, throw a bunch of money on the halvening, go sleep for a couple of years, wake up a millionaire. If it's simply that easy, well, shit, I'm not going to be upset, but I don't think that's the reality here. That being said,
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I didn't hear what Haas's initial comments were, but all I would say is the stock to flow model. People have been referencing it and using it, and it has been accurate up until this point with regards to Bitcoin. However, if you look at the stock to flow model in the last 6 months, it's right at the bottom bands of the stock flow model. It's still within the bands, but it's at the very, very bottom. So I know they're calling for all these crazy numbers. I don't know what Haas called for, but I'm going to say if my prediction is still the same, it's been the same right from day one. I'm getting a lot of static. I don't know if that's me or not.
Just you.
It must be you.
Okay. It's been the same from day one.
Which is?
I think Bitcoin has a chance to hit 100,000 this year, by the end of this year, but I think we're probably looking at somewhere between 75 and 85,000. If it goes really crazy, the thing that no one can predict is that the FOMO at the end, right? Like if Bitcoin starts going really crazy, people are going to be talking about it. It's going to be on MSNBC. Your neighbors are going to be asking you about it. Everybody's going to be trying to jump in. And at that point, all the real investors are going to be selling out while everybody's jumping in the pool for the final blow off top. So my opinion is it could get there, like it could get over 100,000, but I definitely think that we're headed for that one last stretch, and then we're going to enter our bear market. That's my thoughts.
That's the only thing that I differ on, right? Because that's what the stock to flow says. But me personally, I think that we're going to continue on a much longer market. But that's just me. I think.
You think we're going to have the extended market?
But I also think price predictions are going to be within like 150K, maybe 175K. Like I'm still conservative with the price target, but I'm thinking that it's going to end near the end of 2022, not the end of 2021. It just seems like that's a lot of ground to make up in such a small amount of time. But I mean, like I'm not going to deny that it's doable. So I mean, very soon we'll see exactly who's wrong. Right.
Yeah. So. You know what? The thing about this modeling stuff is it's all based on total speculation.
That's it.
Right?
Yeah.
Like there's nothing. Oh, there's my favorite dog. There's nothing with regards to use cases or anything like that. It's a total speculative market. So, you know, it's going to wind up being what it's going to be. It could. I think it's possible it could go into January and February as well. I don't see it extending past that. I think it's going to happen sometime in that time frame.
So that's interesting because Haz, on your video today, I think it was, you were saying that, you know, the narrative right now in sort of all of the YouTube space is about Bitcoin because that's what it is. But once that stops, does it change to, because it's, first of all, as Tim Perry says, it goes Bitcoin and then it goes maybe ETH, but then it definitely goes to the alts, right? So is that what we're thinking is going to happen? Is it going to be something that moves in tandem, or is it going to be, you know, we're going to sort of blow the gasket on Bitcoin and then all the altcoins and ETH follow?
So even right now, like you look at altcoins and none of them have made any like spectacular moves, right? Like ADA's kind of gone up, right? ETH has kind of gone up, but not like what Bitcoin's done. Bitcoin's done almost like 40% in the last couple of green candles here, which is huge. I definitely think money is going to run to alts, but we'll probably see that like sooner than later. We'll probably see the runoff from this pump go into alts next, and we're going to see a continuous cycle. And eventually, when Bitcoin does get very parabolic and does go really high, you're going to see money run off into altcoins, and then the altcoin market will boom. Hopefully, some of the altcoin market booms because of fundamentals over just Bitcoin went up, so I want to go up too. I would love to see some of alts just pump because they're good projects. Yeah. But of course, once Bitcoin goes up, we're going to see a flush into the alts.
Yeah. So it's Tim Perry is piping in and he's saying NFTs are going crazy. I didn't look at them today. I would assume, and those are the gaming ones, only the gaming ones. So does that mean, you know what? You are becoming a little irritating right now. Does that mean Ecomi's going up? Like usually I have a little look.
No, Ecomi hasn't been going up at all.
What about Chili's?
I didn't check Chili's today, so I don't know. Checking for you right now.
So, except NFTs. So
that must explain Pear Bear.
There was a question in chat a little while ago. Dan asks, with such a limited supply of Bitcoin, how is there any left to buy? So, like, how is there any left to put on exchanges? And that's actually a good question. Some people don't quite understand. One, the amount of Bitcoin that's being hodled is not the full supply. There's obviously going to be liquidity being bounced around between exchanges. Some are facilitated through loans. So, for example, Celsius actually loans out to Binance Bitcoin so they can sell it on the open exchange, stuff like that. And then also you have the miners always constantly selling some Bitcoin into the system. And then you have retail sellers. So there's enough of an ecosystem to keep liquidity on exchanges. So that's bare bones explanation.
Okay, so do you ever get the feeling that the supply will be so short? Is that the thing that's going to drive the price up? Is it the supply becomes so scarce?
Oh, completely. That's the whole point of a scarcity asset like Bitcoin, right? Eventually, it is going to, like, maybe not anytime soon, But 21
I don't
billion
know,
Bitcoin is not a lot of Bitcoin.
if you have countries that are going to start using it as legal tender,
And
that
companies
could be enough
putting
to
it in their
drive it, right?
treasury, that's going to drive a huge amount of Bitcoin to
so
never see the day of light again.
Speculation, not financial advice,
Of
but
course.
it could have some drastic effect on it.
To be honest with you, I think in this bull run, and I think everyone should know this, like this is the way I'm looking at it. You look at it the way you want to look at it, but this is total speculation. And everyone in this market is just gambling on stuff that they're projecting is going to go up. And it will, but how much it goes up, when it goes up, and how fast it comes down will be the real story.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, there's a lot of impatient players in the market right now.
Yeah, I think that's it. But I don't like the
returns
term like gambling, right? Because like there's a lot that I've like anything you could say is
it's
gambling.
an educated guess, huh?
It's an educated guess, but educated within mathematics and on the code of how Bitcoin works. Like you could say educated, but and sure, speculative, but so is .com, right?
Absolutely, everything is.
Exactly. Absolutely. So like to say it's a bet or gambling kind of diminishes what it actually is. You're taking an investment, and there's going to be risks with any investment. Some are going to be larger, some are going to be lower. So I think it's just investing based on risk rather than gambling, personally.
If only everybody who traded Bitcoin thought like that.
Yeah.
But it's because they don't, that I am more on Mark's side of things, that I think it's just because that is exactly what Bitcoin needs. And it's just 95% of people don't think like that who own it. And Tim referencing the crypto pages on Facebook. Oh my gosh. When I post some crypto videos, I have a new rule for some people. It's a post and ghost. I don't even bother because it's just out of control with how out to lunch some people can be, really. But it's a shame that there isn't more Hawses in control of the market. Let's put it that way then.
Yeah, I think you wouldn't see as much volatility, right? Like that's what's causing the volatility. But I mean, when you have like Haas is in it, like he's in it as a legitimate, investor. And I'm not to say that I'm not a legitimate investor, but I guess from the standpoint of Haas really understands the mathematics and the ins and outs of it. Mm-hmm. And I think when you look at the retail market, I'm a retail investor. I do as much research as I can, but I would never say that I know the ins and outs of the market. To me, when I look at it, what drives any asset, and that could be XRP, Bitcoin, it could be ADA, it could be whatever. What drives it is the people when they start getting excited, and then they start FOMOing in, and then it goes up.
Mark, something that's really kind of funny, only because I've been trading on the stock side of things I'm 30, so a long time playing around. I have never in my life seen so much excitement at the peak and so little excitement when you have a real buying opportunity.
Absolutely.
I've never truly seen that before, and still, I even caught myself in that weird wave where I'm thinking I've got FUD at the total wrong time. I'm excited at the wrong time. And I was just like, what the hell is this market doing? Like
welcome to crypto, baby.
Well, it's true.
I'm sorry, it's inappropriate laugh.
Where every time you buy in, it goes down.
Yeah, I'll tell you this.
It's like me when I watch the Leafs, I always lose.
Well, keep watching them, then maybe they'll win.
Well, we'll be back in 5 minutes when this is over.
Because it's so true. Poor Ryan's trying to understand this market. He buys it at the wrong time, and then he gets all upset.
Well, here's one. You were asking about ETH Classic, I think, Rye. You were trying to figure out why everybody was doing it, right?
I was, yeah.
I don't know if I posted it or not, but I watched a video on CNBC and they were talking about ETH 2.0 and the IEP 1559 or whatever. At the same time, they were showing a chart for ETH Classic while they were talking about ETH 2.0. So even the pros get it wrong. So that might be another reason why people got that kind of confused, because the pros don't even know what the hell they're talking about. I tried to post it. He's
I'm
interested.
just waiting to get all my goddamn ETH onto a friggin' hard wallet, or a cold whatever, the hardware wallet, so I can get it off of this friggin' exchange. I've been sitting on it there for too damn long.
You need a ledger. You need a ledger.
not have
The
it
link
on
for that's
BlockFi?
below.
I'm waiting for the ledger in the mail.
Oh.
Sorry, what was Haas saying?
Do you not have like BlockFi or Celsius?
Yeah, I don't have Celsius yet. I'm still waiting for ID. Unfortunately, it's BS. And BlockFi, I just am not interested in like the trade-off for liquidity versus the small amount of interest that I make. So it's just going to be a hardware wallet scenario for me. And if I had more money, I'd be more into BlockFi. I just for what I have right now, you
want to be able to access your funds. You're not really worried. You're not really worried about You're more of like, I wouldn't say trading, but you're keeping liquidity in favor of not like foregoing your interest or your APR wherever you can earn it. Yeah, that's fair.
So can I go back? Sorry, Mark, I didn't mean to interrupt, but can I go back to one more question, Haas, about your video?
Sure.
So, so why do you suspect it's going to struggle until it gets past 52,000 US?
So, anytime you hit some sort of big indicator, say like, recently on my channel, I've been talking a lot about the 50-week moving average and how when we go down there, we'll have a lot of support, but we might go below, but don't worry, we'll get right back up, because anytime we hit an indicator like that, it's going to represent some sort of line of support if we're above it, or some sort of line of resistance if we're below it. So if we're trying to move above it. So right now we're coming up to the number 42,000, which is where we held some support before we dropped. And two, we're coming up to the 20-week moving average. So once we get up there, we have 2 points of resistance that we have to beat. So we might struggle for a little bit, ride our support band for a couple weeks, and then make our way back up. So that's most likely the scenario that'll happen. But I mean, like a lot of people are saying, hey, all gas, no brakes. And, God bless. Let's hope that that's the reality. So.
Yet to be seen, huh?
Yet
You've
to
been
be
doing
seen.
this for a long time. I don't think you've seen
you know what? I haven't actually been doing this for long. I've been doing this since basically like the beginning of 2019, really looking into stuff like cryptocurrency. But I have researched previous bull markets, so it's not that I know everything or I'm super experienced, but I have kind of looked at previous cycles to try to understand a little bit better on what we're looking at. So I'm not posing myself as any like huge expert or anything.
Yeah, but I think you make a good point. Like I would agree with you. I've done the same thing. I've kind of done some study into previous bull cycles and what it looked like, what this one could project out to. And I think when you look at that, it's not going to just go like this.
No.
Like it's going to go up. We're going to come down. It's going to go up a little bit more.
The chart can go 3 ways: up, down, or sideways.
That's right.
It's going to pick one. So
yeah.
No, I just want to pause for a moment and sort of reintroduce everybody, because Gary Matthews was so great up above and just basically said, for those of you that are new to Crypto Night in Canada, we're just a bunch of Canadian folks that like to sit and talk about investment strategies, specifically in the crypto market. And we have a whole pile of different folks that jump on and love to chat with us on this. So to our there beside us in the middle square is Ryan Hemsley from the HiRye channel, and then on the other side of Ryan is Haas from Haas Hodls, and Ryan does a good mixture on his channel of both crypto and in regular investing, and Haas does primarily crypto investing, and you do a lot of technical analysis, which Tim and I really enjoy watching. And then below Haas is Ken, I want to say the Great Canadian Vapor, but
why do you always say the Great Canadian? The Great Canadian Bitcoiners, the Great Canadian. You never say the Great Canadian Tim.
I love their bagels, though. Come on.
They do have good bagels. I don't know why they don't eat bagels on their show, but anyways.
Maybe they know something we don't.
Len will probably kill me for saying that. No, you are the Great White Vapor.
There you go. There you go.
There you go. And beside Ken is Mark Lazarick, who has just been a recent joiner to our group, but an awesome contributor. And
then there's Neil.
wait,
now, Neil,
just
Neil.
one second
Yep,
before I say, I'm not finished talking about Mark for a second.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So I just wanted to let everybody know that that Mark will be starting his own YouTube channel in the coming weeks ahead, hopefully before the end of summer. And he's actually going to have his show go up just before our show. So and his
We're
is
going to do the handoff. We're going to
do the handoff. That's it. So for
Touchdown
those
fumbles and what?
touchdown fumbles and picks
Fumbles,
of the week.
touchdowns, and I don't know.
That's right. And
Nickel
then
and Dime Sports. I ripped off Ryan's comment.
oh, geez,
Oh,
nobody's
here we go.
ripping off
Here
Or did he
anything.
rip off mine? I can't.
I'm
read
not
mine.
sure.
Listen, you know, I
I'm
think
not
we have a
sure.
bad connection.
Oh man. And then beside
Hey.
Mark is
Neil, hey, do you have
Hello.
any idea who Pear Bear is? Saying hi, Neil.
I have
Yeah.
an inkling.
Well, go ahead and say it out loud.
I believe that might be Mr. Tim Perry.
Yes,
That's
yes, okay,
and
good.
so for those of you that have been with us for a long time, Tim Perry is
Sounds
also
good.
in the house. He's just joining via Messenger. So, anyways, welcome everybody, and Neil, how you doing?
Pretty good. Just hoping the kids stay asleep now.
Ah,
Well, it looks like from what we've been getting from Pear Bear, he's crossed the line and gone over to the dark side of NFTs pretty good.
Yeah,
did you-
it
What did you
seems
say
like
to
it.
him? I told him that.
I've left him alone with that. I got
Wow.
heavily burned on NFTs, so I'm staying the hell away right now.
Oh, good. Here we go.
no kidding.
So.
Is anybody else on
Actually,
the panel or
I have a
buying any
question.
NFTs?
I have a question about NFTs before we get into that. Neil, maybe you would know, because I know that you were buying, or I think you got at least one NFT. I remember, I'm pretty sure you did. You were talking about it. Do they have the ability to enhance it over time to make your NFT something that can grow as kind of the market grows, or is it always just whatever you purchased? Is that static for life?
I think they're working on updating it and adding on to things, but Ikami did the first interactive one they had, where I was talking about it last week, where they had the trap for Ghostbusters and then Slimer would get taken into it. So you're seeing the advancements now, but I think that's probably where they want to go. I just don't know if they have the technology or the know-how yet. But I'm watching NFTs right now. NFT games are exploding, going up and down. Axis Infinity, I looked into, and you got to spend a few $100s per I guess they're called axes, pardon me, and just to get them, and you need 3 to fight. And there's an Adventureland kind of thing where you do non-player characters and you play in the game, but then you can play in an arena. But there's people making serious money off these things. But
I'm just waiting for NFTs to be a ticket into an exclusive gaming pool or gambling, but I won't bring that up. But to an exclusive gaming pool, because you could have if Battlefield came out and said I can play regular, or I can go gangbusters with a bunch of friggin' gangsters out there, and we're just going to go crazy for 3 hours, but you got to enter this specific pool. Gambling and gaming, man, that's all I can't wait till I can utilize an NFT that way.
So Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher just released, I'm looking it up right now, they just released an NFT, and you need that to watch their show, and it's like Stoner Cats or something.
That's
and the reason why they did it, they said, to be on the blockchain is because they were worried about censorship, because it's all about marijuana, and so you need to have an NFT to get access to the show. So I just heard it. I really even haven't dug into it, but apparently Ashton Kutcher's had Bitcoin since forever. He bought it when it was very inexpensive. He's had it for a long time, so he's been at least aware of this for a while. But it's just interesting that you're seeing, she's a pretty big star, a top leading lady in that, right? And Ashton Kutcher, he's got name recognition even now still, and it's just interesting to see more and more of this. But on their show, Vitalik, one of the co-founders of Ethereum, he's going to be one of the voices of the characters on Stony Cats, and everyone in the cast is going to be paid in ETH.
Wow.
Yeah,
that is cool.
So you're really seeing a lot of things starting to happen, and like that's kind of what I've done since I decided that I'm a terrible trader. Is I'm trying to look at the narrative right now. I'm not sitting on the sidelines. I've re-upped on my liquidity. I'm sitting there. I'm really happy with what I'm doing there, and I'm ready to make a move. But I just think we're going to be kind of going sideways a little bit more, and I'm just trying to take it in. But I think it's kind of interesting that market sentiment is, up. It's a lot more positive, yet you're not really seeing much of a gain in crypto compared to the positivity, especially in the mainstream media. So it's just, I'm just trying to take it in as much as I can. But there's some really interesting stuff happening, and NFTs are like kind of, especially the gaming. Like I always thought it'd be interesting because when you can get a unique item and it would be useful in a game, and possibly you could trade it, you could sell it. I always thought that would be interesting because in university I had friends that used to play WoW, World of Warcraft, like the original one, and they used to be in 2 different rooms with their doors open, going on missions or quests, and they were totally engulfed in the game, talking to each other, but they weren't with each other. And I was just like, the online community they had then with terrible internet, not nearly as fast as that. Think of where that could go now, right, with the technology that's coming. And I never really got into WoW. I knew all about it because I'd actually only go fishing for my friend in the game. So you could so that's kind of where I've always seen gaming going, because they would work and spend so much time to earn, experience and get coins and gold to go and buy something that would help them in battle. And I think in crypto that it's totally transferable.
I'm feeling attacked right now.
You're feeling attacked?
Actively, as I am currently playing World of Warcraft, the Burning Crusade, while we're on this podcast grinding mobs.
Oh my gosh!
But hold on. To add on to that point, if anyone's read the book or watched the movie Ready Player One, that's legitimately where we're going. The next VR MMO platform that has cryptocurrency, blockchain enabled, selling NFTs. People can build their own houses. I'm looking at Decentraland right now. Incredible. The fact that I can go buy virtual land. The idea of that just is amazing to me. And it depends on where you buy the land. The market value could go up. If you're buying it right off of a road, your market's going to go up. If you buy it out in the boonies, it's going to be down, right? So it's super cool to see where NFTs and blockchain gaming is going to go. But
okay, can I add on to something that what you're saying there, Haas? Mm-hmm. So I remember, Ryan, that when you and I were on Crypto Night one Sunday a few months ago, and I talked to you about Raul Paul and his video, and I urged everybody on your channel to go watch that.
How does Ryan say that?
And no, we're not going to do that. I'm in the middle of something. I'll lose my train of thought, you ding dong. Anyways, so what I know. Well, I was going to say something else, but I thought I had to pause.
It's a mining joke.
Oh, no. Anyway, you're going to make me lose my train of thought. Seriously. Anyway, so what he had said is that if you look at how the future is going to go, with the fact that it's almost becoming unattainable for most people to buy real estate, he said that what it's going to go into, or his view of the future, is that everybody's going to go into these virtual realities, or they're going to entertain in virtual reality instances. And so to your point, Haas, those that have gotten in and have gotten the nice properties and will decorate their homes and will be buying all this stuff, as ridiculous as this possibly sounds right now, he said that's how we're going to entertain each other in the future. We're going to go into each other's virtual realities, and people are going to still be living in a little square box, like an apartment.
VR is legitimately the future. I've said this to everyone. Everyone's denied this. My little brother fights me adamantly about this. VR is legitimately the future. And yeah, you look at some of the VR games right now, what is it? VR chat. It's big. It has all those memes that come up every week. People love it. People live stream it.
Has anybody been, I don't know if your shopping malls are open or whatever, but you know how they have those stores where you can, I don't know if there's stores or what.
We call them plazas here.
No, but you can go in and rent VR time or whatever.
Yeah, we have Rec Room and everything.
I played 30 minutes, Captain's Chair, Star Trek, and I was like blown. My mind exploded. I was like literally, I don't even want to nerd out, but you're like on the bridge, you're doing the full-blown Star Trek gig. It was friggin' mind-blowing. You're set up to fail if you take this one mission, but like it was, anyway, yeah.
I would argue completely.
Go ahead, Haas.
Sorry, I'm just going to say this quick. I would argue completely that somebody would much rather a virtual job in VR earning cryptocurrency than a real job, regardless of how much work one is over the other. Just putting that out there.
So if we have our educators and we have our politicians and we have all these people are saying our youth is not educated in real life scenarios, in finances, in real estate, in this. Wouldn't games and learning exercises with NFTs be the way to do it, and at the same time for the creator to be able to monetize himself? But it would drive some youth to learn about real life monetization, real estate, investing, budgeting, all that stuff that they say that should be taught. Why isn't someone doing that with NFTs and making money off of it and targeting our youth that way and educating them?
I think right now it's so new. That sounds like a good idea, Tim. You should get a developer.
I was going to say, the only reason we know who Kevin O'Leary is because of
his education software.
Yeah, and that's probably just a matter of time before someone pulls an O'Leary and makes it that. But that was the most successful. I remember growing up using it. That was probably the easiest learning tool for computer software, computer programming, or anything, even typing. That was, I mean, it's a matter of time for sure.
Yeah.
I think building on that too, like with the blockchain and that, you could actually monetize it so that it's only the creator, instead of having this contract that's for all the boards and that, they could be, paid per click or per view, which should drive down the cost. Because instead of saying, I've got 30 kids in this class, and I've got 10,000 classes in the province, so it's X amount for each class. You could say we will pay you per usage, and so I think what you just brought up, there's a lot of use case, and I think especially with the NFT gaming, it has only been enhanced and pushed forward through the COVID pandemic. I think all of this has been pushed forward because everyone was dragging their feet, and especially in the medical field, they weren't doing really virtual appointments. It was a lot more cumbersome based off government regulations and rules. Well, now the government has to move their butt. And I want to use another word because traditionally governments move very slowly. And if you look at it, traditionally governments have the older population in power that have control, had time, and they've got experience. But the one thing they lack is the ability usually to transition to new technology, right?
Yeah.
So that's probably why you're not going to see something like this happen. But the pandemic has been a little bit of a blessing in that way, that it has pushed people forward in all facets of their life because we had to. And
I know. So to your point on that, Neil, one of the things I want to add on, Mark, do you remember when the very first meeting that you came to, and I showed you guys that video with what was the name of that? Cable Labs. If anybody wants to see it, they're on YouTube.
Yeah, look it up. It's
called The Near Future. And I showed that to you 2 years ago, I guess. And I'd seen it the year before that. It was a cable company that was predicting what the future could look like, and they have multiple videos you can go and watch. We watched the one that has to do with what Mark and I do, which is senior living and healthcare. But they have other ones which shows how the future of learning is going to be, how the future of, and the reason it was the cable company that was showing it was because they have to build the infrastructure in behind to house all of the speed at which we're all going to be living. But if you want to watch something incredibly fascinating, seriously, go and look Cable Labs, The Near Future, and you watch the VR that even homes are going to have. And in the thought process of it, and it seemed ridiculous then, I was like, oh yeah, doctors doing virtual visits. Every single doctor visit that I've had this last year has been virtual. My doctor calls me on the phone. I'm like, that never happened before. Now I have chit chats with her and we talk through things, and then that's the end of it. And then we go on, right?
I have the mindset where you wouldn't call a mechanic on the phone and get him to diagnose your issue right there. That would freak me right out, relying totally by telephone for a doctor. That would
OBD
freak me
port.
out.
No, and they're
OBD
going to
port.
have, honestly, Ryan, when you go and look at this thing, they're going to have technicians that are going to come in and they're going to be able to put equipment around you that'll be able to read it and send the reports instantaneous to the doctor. You go to get a X-ray
probes
right
I'm worried
now.
about.
No, stop it. You. Why do men always worry about
Silly
that?
stuff.
We have
Listen,
to have,
I hear a glove
we have
snap.
to have-
I squidge harder than a
oh my
Irishman with a
gosh.
quarter. I tell
We
you.
have to have more things prodded and poked than you guys. You have one thing that has to be looked at.
Listen, this isn't about Pokemon.
Oh, anyways,
Gotta catch them all.
but they have instantaneous, like you. Okay, I'm talking to Neil's on here. He works at the hospital, but you have an X-ray now, and the results are really fast.
Usually what you're waiting for is just the report. So it's got to be reviewed, right, by the radiologist, and that takes time because it's 2 eyes. But yeah, it's incredible. I used to work in diagnostic imaging, and they just did this presentation on some of the newer equipment that was coming out. It was incredible what they were doing, and how a lot of it was going to be animated. You know, you put your arm in, and then it does the blood. And it's just incredible where this is going.
NFTs. What is the demographics on that? What's the demographics? I don't know.
Not you.
I think it's going to depend on, it's kind of like all collectors, I think, in the sense that if you're not into it, you're not going to collect it, right?
Right.
So if you don't like sports, you would never go out and get a sports card. You would never go get a sports figurine. So I think there was a comment there about when they try and talk about crypto, the only time people get excited is with video games. And it's because when you think of crypto, people think of money, and nobody likes the idea of money because it's hard work. And I've slowly been bringing myself around on it. But like, I've never found, sorry, there was a fly. I've never been that interested in it. And that's probably why people get excited with crypto, with gaming, because it'd be like, oh man, I'm playing this game, I'm having fun, and I'm going to get paid for it. Because there are play to earn games right now. And I think that could be kind of what knocks the wall down, because, you know, getting paid to do something you like is kind of awesome. And that's what everyone wants to do in their job. Unfortunately, I don't believe many people get to do that. And like, imagine it's just like they said that you're more likely to win the lottery than become a professional gamer. Because there's so many people playing games, but they all want to be professionals. And I think that's where some of these play-to-earn games could really get popular.
There's a whole nother side to NFTs that I think are often overlooked. And the reason why NFTs are so powerful is something that Michael Saylor says about digital property, about Bitcoin being digital property. But I'm extending what he says. So I'm going to upset Maxis by using their word of their Lord and Savior. But he claims Bitcoin is digital property. It's the same thing with NFTs. And the marketplace that it directly attacks right now is the record label marketplace. And I'm talking about music royalties. I'm talking about all of these labels and producer companies that keep these artists down on like really restrictive contracts, taking a good portion of their money. And now with NFTs, they could just go solo with NFTs and just have their NFTs and go through, sell their songs with NFTs. So it really redefines how we're looking at artists, like the artist industry and entertainment. So I think it's a little bit bigger than just gaming, than just collector cards. I think what this does is fundamentally disrupts a legacy like ecosystem that's been around for decades, just milking a ton of artists in the industry.
Yeah, they say the only way they can actually make money is touring. That seems to be the only way they actually make a decent amount of money, is going on tour.
Yeah,
I bet you Brittany wish she had an NFT.
You know what? Hashtag free Brittany. Okay, like holy crap, let her go. But yeah,
has anybody seen that? Totally off topic. Like her video, it was pretty.
So talking about totally off topic, since we have two people here who's Maxis about that, tell me about XRP.
What do you want to know?
Yes, Mark and Haas are going to have a love in here for a second.
Hindelman. So this guy. Okay. So I want to, before I tell you the tale of XRP, I want to tell you the tale of a little cryptocurrency. You might have heard about it. It was called Ethereum. Now, the jovial little boy that made Ethereum decided, hey guys, I want to build Ethereum up. So little Vitalik said, buy my Ethereum and I will build Ethereum, the network. All right. So buy the Ethereum, I will build the network. Well, under the HiRye test and under the SEC's regulations, that is indeed a security, which is why a lot of investors didn't buy Ethereum back in the day. Well, somebody from the SEC, a top chairman from the SEC, had specifically come out and said Bitcoin and Ethereum are clearly not securities. And then he left and went on to other things. Well, Ripple has just won a judgment, or not a judgment, a decision. The judge made the decision to allow Ripple to question this person that said Ethereum is not a security, because now he has to justify why is Ethereum not a security and why is XRP a security when XRP hasn't even done half of the stuff that Ethereum did to get funded. So I find that funny, just saying, but we're on the road. I mean, litigation is litigation. It's not going to be quick. So we just got to.
Didn't the judge rule against the SEC for allowing Ripple to question someone?
That's Hensler. Yeah.
Okay.
Inman, yeah. So
Inman, thank you.
No problem. So they actually deposed him yesterday. So we won't find out how that went, obviously, until summary judgment when we might hear how things went. But I think that there are some really big gaps there, and there's stuff that the SEC can't justify. And the other thing is that these lawyers are saying the SEC just gave them a gift because you have two current SEC chairs. One was Hester Pierce, came out and wrote an article saying there hasn't been clarity in this market since 2013. Like we haven't provided any clarity, and there's total market confusion. So if the SEC can't even decide whether there's clarity, how can you hold Ripple accountable for clarity? So I think they're looking like they're going to get what they want. I still say it's going to get settled. I think it's going to be done long before trial. I think it's going to happen probably in October or November. And I think that they're probably working out a deal right now, unbeknownst to us. Like we would never know, and it'll just get announced and say Ripple has agreed to pay X amount of dollars in fines. And for that, we've determined that XRP is no longer a security. And they're going to move forward.
Do CBDCs conflict or interfere or take away from Ripple at all? I don't know. I'm just asking
Not
a
at
question.
All.
Okay.
No, and that was one thing. And the Bitcoiners were on last week, and I didn't answer quick enough. But one of the things that was posted, I felt like I was being shot at by two people.
I know, Haas. He missed you. He needed you. He needed his wingman.
Man down. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, I was hiding behind chairs and everything, Haas. They were throwing all sorts of things.
Man, I tell you, the crypto was flying.
Yeah.
The trick is, speak fast and confidently, and you're right. Right. That's the trick. No, yeah. I mean, like there are just misconceptions. What was said?
Yeah. So one of the biggest misconceptions, and they talked about, well, there's going to be all these stable coins coming, and there's going to be these CBDCs coming, and essentially you don't need XRP if there's CBDCs. And
I don't see how that.
Nothing could be further from the truth.
Completely.
And the other thing that I laughed at is they asked me this question, and I don't think I answered it, so I'm going to answer it tonight. If they're listening, I hope they are. They asked me, who's buying it? Because it's not a big retail investment. Who's buying it? Banks. Banks are buying it, and they're buying it by the boatloads. And I think, if you could see what happened to XRP today, XRP didn't go up today because we had, Tesla's owner tweet about, Bitcoin to the moon or something. XRP went up this morning at 3 a.m. this morning because a major bank in Japan announced that they're opening a corridor to the Philippines to exchange money. And how that money is being exchanged is by XRP.
The misconception with
it jumped
XRP,
17%. Yeah, in an hour.
The misconception about people have to be buying XRP for the price to go up, right? It's I don't like. So XRP's value, sure, obviously goes up by people buying and holding the token. Sure, of course, just like Bitcoin. But it also goes up by how much value is consistently moving through. And when you think about it, when you're constantly moving through value through the system, that's pumping up the price. The price is going higher to facilitate this transfer of money from one end to the other, or value from one end to the other. And that's truly what XRP does. It's not a matter of I'm buying a bunch of XRP and hoping somebody will buy it from me one day and it'll be like this huge price, 10K XRP, which I think is ridiculous.
Right.
But it's going to go up because of the usage of how much it's actually moving in value across the system. And of course, banks are going to hold it in reserve because it's much easier to hold something like XRP than the Swedish dollar or the US dollar or Bitcoin for El Salvador, whatever it may be, right? It's so much easier just to hold XRP, just go through the XRPL and make your transfer. So.
And they're using it for on-demand liquidity. And so the one thing that XRP has that no other cryptocurrency has is that it provides on-demand liquidity. So the thing is that there's a lot, even Swift, there was an article out today about Swift coming out with Swift Go or whatever they called it, that it was going to be super speed with banking, so that when you send payment somewhere, that it'll happen immediately, and they're doing it with small amounts. The problem is that program that Swift has come out with still doesn't settle. It doesn't deal with settlement. So when you transfer money in a bank and you go on your bank and you do an e-transfer and you send it, Bank A has to have the amount of liquidity to cover that amount to send it to the other bank. For Bank B to receive it, and that's the Nostro Bostro accounts, and that's what it takes, like a day or 2 days to actually make that happen. So yes, you bought something, you sent money, and to you it's done, but the transaction hasn't gone through until it's settled, and that usually takes 24 to 48 hours. Banks are starting to move to XRP because they can settle with the on-demand liquidity program immediately. And so by doing that, they don't need to hold X amount of dollars to cover off the amounts that they're sending. It's immediate. So that's
I can concur with Mark, because when I used to work at the bank, that was one of the jobs that I did. We would be having to call down, especially if it was foreign currency, we would have to call down to the floor and get a quote on this is going back 20, almost 30 years ago. We used to have to call down to the floor and we'd have to get a quote on an exchange rate, and they would have to know where we were transferring it to, because then they would have to estimate how long it was going to take to get there so they could settle. It was complicated. So Mark's not wrong.
Though, what he mentions, and what's a bad reality is, you say that was 30 years ago. That's probably almost identical to what they're doing today, just with a fancier computer. Nothing else has changed other than them messaging maybe that person in an office to go get the same quote through a similar crappy CRM, right? So,
no, and you're right, and the amount of money we could lose because the exchanges were working all the time was crazy. So XRP has a real world application here, and it's this one, which will lead us into, we've got a new viewer. I'm guessing it's a he, Octo UK 77. So I'm also assuming they might be from the UK. Has asked to give us some suggestions on some nice crypto. And then their second question is, does anyone do technical analysis? So for the technical analysis,
it's more than
would
that.
be Haas. You could go to Haas's channel, Haas Hodls. He does technical analysis. Ryan does some technical analysis on his. If you've come to Tim and I for technical analysis, wrong.
He's also asking for technical analysis to buy and sell crypto. Listen, if you want to trade, I don't trade. I talk about long-term macro trends. If you want to trade, go watch a Satoshi Stacker. I think he's like the most legitimate that you can find on YouTube. But that's day trading. I don't day trade. So
Octo, this is Haas's YouTube channel. If you've got that, just write it down because I'm about to switch it to Ryan, which is Ryan Hemsley, and he's HiRye on YouTube.
And Octo is on Twitch, and I have a feeling just based on how he was asking some questions, I think he might think he's alone in this live chat. But Octo, if you go over to Tim and Nancy Dancer channel on YouTube, you can subscribe and then see all of us all the time because there's quite a few of us here. But just in case you can't see the crew on Twitch, because we can't see your chat in the YouTube live chat, only here on our end. So anyway,
Tim, just a second. That's good. Tim Perry says, between Mark and Haas, I almost want to buy XRP. Almost. Yeah, it's not volatile enough for him. That's the problem.
More gravy on the fries.
Oh man. Wissam says he was a bank teller when he was 19. Wissam, how long ago was that? You need to let us know how long ago that was. Because that's when I started. I started when I was just before, I think I was 18 when I started at the bank. That was a long, long time ago.
Octo, I'm sorry. I did connect this StreamYard to Twitch, and I have never figured out Twitch, so that's my bad.
But that's okay.
Octo, come over and subscribe to their channel.
There are experts and there are investors in crypto. I'm an investor. Just like with social media, there are experts and there are users. I'm a user.
Oh, there you go. Wissam says he's 40, so that was 21 years ago that Wissam was a teller. But Octo, you know what? You can come to see Tim and I. We try to bring the experts in who are much, much smarter than we are and who know more things than we do. And so we just like to banter. We call it the Danter banter. We like to banter back and forth and look at I've made it almost all the way through a whole stream tonight, and I haven't talked about inflation. I think I'm in rehab. What do you guys think?
Numbers went down in Canada.
What did you say, Ryan?
Numbers dipped down actually.
Inflation numbers?
Slightly for June.
Well, there's something really wrong there because that's not what's happening.
Well, they said food prices are going down. Food prices are going down, and then insane discounts by telecommunications companies led to the drop in inflation, I guess. But we're still finding chip shortages. I was about to say that on my live stream today, actually, but didn't find the time. But I thought I was waiting for you to bring up inflation. I'm like, oh, there we go. But in fairness, I was listening to that Powell speech today, and it's not looking good. It's like they're going to be pushing it off for quarters, not months. So, and they still are using the word transitory. It's like they're just, I don't know what's up, but it's going to be a while.
No, and Tim,
sorry,
go ahead. Go ahead, Neil.
It's not inflation related.
I just said Tim Perry saying between Nancy not mentioning inflation and Ken not mentioning sheep, he feels like he's in the Twilight Zone.
That's true. Where's the sheep talk?
We also haven't had an H-bar tonight.
No, because Journey's not here. Listen, this is a weird. It's his wedding this week.
Yeah, everybody got a shout out. It's too bad he didn't have something we could send him to on Saturday.
There you go.
Just Nancy, to talk about your man crush, Raoul Paul. He was actually talking recently about how he believes social coins are going to be the real crypto that gets into society in that, and he's starting to invest in them, and specifically ones that get you access to events, so on, or into groups, and that's what he's been talking about is the tokens, because everything he said, like the most valuable network in the world is Facebook, and it's a network that's connected people. So if you find things that these social tokens that connect people, they will be super valuable, and that's just something that I'm just, trying to learn about and look into, but I thought it was interesting that, Chili's is kind of like that, the NFT, right? Because by holding it, you can get access to teams, and that's what a lot of these social tokens, the premise is. You're hearing people that are going to have it, and like if you hold this token, you could go to their conference, and that kind of thing. So it's kind of interesting how NFTs is kind of blending into everything, and it's definitely very versatile, and I think it's just going to penetrate everywhere. Like it's just going to be so useful because for the most part, it makes something unique, right?
I agree. Going back to Octo for a second, he says he's sorry if it took us off topic. This whole show is about being taken off topic, Octo. You don't need to worry about that one little bit. We're exceptionally good at getting off topic, right, Neil?
Yes, very good.
There you go. And Chris Brophy has asked thoughts on Facebook coin Diem. Anybody got any thoughts on that?
I think that's just where we're going to see a lot of things go, right? Like everyone was talking. Sorry?
Amazon's going to go that way.
That was actually like exactly what I was going to say. That's funny. When I put out the news about Amazon, obviously that was a bunk. It was fake news, came out from a shoddy insider. But when Amazon does truly come out for cryptocurrency, they're going to make Amazon token. Clearly, that's what they're going to do. I was blinded by reading the news articles by they'll use Bitcoin and all these cryptocurrencies, but no, of course not. They're going to make Amazon coin, just like Facebook is making Diem.
Don't they have an Amazon coin right now?
No.
It's called a gift card.
Oh, I mean, I guess. Listen, I will always say that the first actual cryptocurrency is RuneScape Gold. So fight me on that.
Realistically, everything we do is cryptocurrency because, I never hold cash. So all these people are like, I can't fathom this. It's cash, and it's like, when was the last time you went to the bank and went to a teller and physically got money out? The last time I did that was to pull out over $2,000 for a cash job to save almost $1,000 on tax. Right? Pardon me, I didn't do that. There's a friend.
Anyone from the CRA that's currently listening,
my name's John.
Right?
My name is Mark Lazarus.
People can't get over it.
Funny.
We are in a world of digital currency. It's just attached to your bank, right? And it makes sense that Amazon and Facebook all want that because you're going to pay with, traditional fiat, and they're going to give you Amazon change. It's the best business model ever. They're going to give you something that really doesn't have any value unless you use it in their marketplace.
That sounds like? Canadian Tire.
I was just about to say, I think Canadian Tire was way ahead of their time.
Wasn't Canadian Tire, it is more of a bonus, right? It's kind of like you can use this money, whereas I think Amazon's going to be like, oh, you're going to spend this much, here's your change. Yeah. But it makes tons of sense, right? Because then you control the flow of the cash flow, and it's gonna go that way.
Yep. So has Facebook launched its coin yet? That was the question. Jess Beaumont.
I don't know if they've actually launched it. I mean, they've been talking about it back when it was Libra, but then there was the lawsuit because it was the same as a name in Australia or something. Also, the credit union in Canada, coincidentally enough. They ended up changing it to Diem a little while ago. Canadian Tire money is better than fiat. I actually agree with that. Yes, absolutely. I'm assuming
they are online.
100%. There you go. Oh boy, I bet you that's Len.
It's Len, guaranteed.
Oh boy. Well, you want to know what's funny? And when Candace is saying she tried to get on a bus once with Canadian Tire money, you think about some of the things that were from the past, like Canadian Tire with the Canadian Tire money that now is flipping over into the crypto world. I think about things like consumers distributing. Ryan, you won't remember this. You're too young, but I'm pretty sure everybody else on the call is old enough to remember consumers distributing. And it's not
the same age.
Are you really?
I'm 31. What? I look
30.
young. I look like I'm 20. Okay, I look like I'm a young
Dude,
boy.
I'm 30. We're the same
Everyone
age.
calls me the boy genius. I'm 31 years old. But,
so consumers distributing was honestly the type of business model where you went in and you looked through a book and you didn't actually go and pick up your stuff and carry it up to the front. You would go and point at it, and somebody would run back into the warehouse and pick that up. Well, that's not all that far off of what we do with Amazon. The only difference is we do it online and it comes to the door. There's not really that much different in the business model. And then you even go back further than that. The Sears Roebuck catalog. Yeah. Like people use the catalog would come and you would pick up the phone and you would call it, you would order it and it would come to your house, or it would go to a center and you would stop and pick it up. Not all that dissimilar to how we do online groceries now. You can order your groceries, and if you don't want it delivered to your home because you don't know if anybody's going to be there to get it, it will go into a little box, a refrigerated box that you go to at the store and pick it up, and it's all done for you. All of these things that used to exist are now back again.
Yeah, or go into the section of the Sears catalog where it was laminated, and you'd go through all the books, and Mom, I want that. I want. And then it'd come in 2 or 3 weeks later, and you go to. Yeah, I totally remember that. It was good
the Xmas consumer catalog. Yes, I remember that. There was a book about this big with 25, 30 pages of toys. And you would just go and circle which one you wanted to send to Santa. I
fear we've really lost Tim Perry now.
he's
out in the woods talking about toys. It's like there is something wrong.
Distributors.
Next thing a squirrel's going to fall out of the freaking tree.
And send a digital one out, and people send their orders to us, and the people that are afraid of doing it all themselves, right? We could be like the baby boomer friendly version where we send them a catalog and they just circle it and then write how many they want. Just write your credit card in and.
Well, it's funny because when Tim Perry said the catalog's super dreamy, I didn't know you guys were going to go to the toys. I thought maybe you were talking about something else because that was my Uncle John told me that was as good as Playboy back then when you got to see the gals in their underwear.
Nance.
Oh my God.
That was National Geographic.
Yeah. Actually, no.
Oh, look at Tim Perry said I was about to mention the bras.
Oh, stay away from the pine needles, brother.
Anyways,
God.
You know what?
The scratch and sniff section before then. Right?
I know.
Jesus.
That's so much fun. Well, I know we've been just a little over an hour, and it's summer, and I know that everybody's got lots of stuff going on and whatnot, but too late, Tim Perry. Has anybody got anything else that they'd like to chat about tonight, or do you want to call it an early night?
Well, I just saw in the comments someone said that Elon Musk sent out a tweet about Dogecoin being accepted now by Tesla. So
I couldn't find that.
Did anybody find it?
I haven't seen it, but the price of Doge is down by 2 basis points right now. So we'll see where that goes. But
who was it that posted that? Was that with Sam?
Yeah.
It was Sam. If you're still listening, do you want to just post us your source on that?
I thought he was just being sarcastic because he said that Doge has finally accepted.
Oh, maybe I misread it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
See, Tim Perry says
he's also a financial planner.
No, that is. Was it Panda or was it
It's Panda?
Yeah.
I feel bad for Wissam right now. Every time you have to explain the joke, it takes so much away from the person who made it. Don't worry, Wissam. I got it.
There it is. It was a joke. And Tim Perry says it would be all over Twitter. It's true. We would be, anyways.
Well, we just broke some news that Tesla is accepting Dogecoin.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, Tesla.
Rumors start.
The folks that support Tesla, they want Tesla to be able to mine Dogecoin while it's charging. I found that was the first thing that came up.
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
see this one video?
Because of that other company that's making the electric car that's supposed to be a miner.
Yeah.
There
Now
was
they
this one video of this guy with a Tesla, and he had a Honda generator, like a gasoline generator, in the back of the Tesla, charging his Tesla with a Honda motor. Like, oh my god, what?
Well, that's they're going to make the cars musical, so when it gets a flat, it's an A flat minor.
Oh man, that's funny. That is really funny. Well, what's just before we wrap? Haz, you got anything else good coming on this week?
I mean, videos daily, of course. 11 a.m. Saturday morning. I had to check there because mentally I'm not there right now, but a lot going on. But Saturday, 11 a.m. I will be live streaming. But every day, subscribe over here at Haas Hodls. There's a video out there for you, whether it be technical analysis or some sort of project analysis.
And don't forget, guys, by the way, when you're subscribing to Tim and Nancy or myself or Haas or anything like that, if you don't hit the bell, you're missing like 99.9% of the stuff that's out there. It's truly astonishing how many people were like, oh, I didn't even know you made. Trust me, guys, hit the bell, and you don't have to watch everyone, but at least you have the option of seeing what's going on. Just you never know what's hitting the line kind of thing every day.
Yeah, and the other guests that we normally have on the Canadian Bitcoiners, and they kind of do a lot of really dives on Bitcoin and a lot of that. Very interesting today on Square and how they're basically becoming a bank. The banks in Canada here are rumored to be worried about Wealthsimple because of the outflow with the investments going to Wealthsimple. And I think the banks, I don't know whether they were referring to the US or to Canada, but I think even they alluded to the fact that the banks are starting or should be starting to worry about Square because you just got to watch it because they're going to be doing mortgages and loans and stuff like that. And there's no need to have to, give up your kidney for it.
Yeah. And although they're great, they're not the great Canadian Bitcoiners. They're just the Canadian Bitcoiners. And I really, really, really think they need to start eating bagels on there so that then that way people will remember great Canadian bagels. Bitcoiners.
It's a good marketing tactic, not gonna lie.
I got an opportunity for you and your bagels.
I know.
Well, they need a sponsorship. It's right there.
Well, that's the guy that walked into Tim Hortons on the roll up to win, and he said, "Well, I'm here for my RV," and it says, "Sir, it says win a bagel, not win a bagel."
Oh God, nailed it.
That was out in Alberta. That was in Alberta.
If you thought there wasn't going to be a dad joke tonight, you probably had to think all night over that one.
Some people are going, damn, I guess nailed it. Honey, we didn't win the RV.
Yeah, no. And MC Paradise says, Saint Viator Bagels. That must be someplace in Montreal because they make delicious bagels.
Here, you want to hear a stupid story? Because this was actually in Calgary. I lived in Calgary between 2000 and 2003. So I was about 10 to 13 years old. Lived in Calgary, listened to Jack FM at the time. And and the prize was a Toyota. And everyone's calling in. They're all jazzed. And the radio station got sued, actually. But they were all jazzed. And somebody won. And they came in, and it was like a figurine of a Yoda toy. Like a Yoda, like a toy. And then they got sued, and they ended up actually having to give the person a car. But it was pretty rich.
Oh man! Well, that's you have to be careful.
It was a new statue of the law.
That's right. So Ryan, you got anything exciting going on this week other than having us back on Sunday nights?
Honest, I'm trying a whole new schedule, whole new vibe with my channel. Well, I shouldn't say new. I should say going back to what it used to be like now that everything's kind of worked out. YouTube burnouts are a real friggin' thing. But anyway, back at it, doing daily live streams for market closes. Going to have 3 to 4 videos a week minimum. Clips that we might miss, for instance, like on a live stream like this, there might be a 5-minute period. I would clip it, for instance, stuff like that. I'm going to be pumping it out like that. And then, I don't know, I'm jazzed up on it. Definitely had, I don't know, enough time off, I think it's fair to say. And back at it, rocking and rolling. So I'm jazzed.
Yeah. Neil, what you got going on this week?
Just watching the lines go up and down from afar. I got a few projects on the go at the house. So, kids, get my garage up and running.
There you go.
built-in bookcase, and work, parents, just living the dream.
We're
Living the
already coming
dream.
to August, so summer's
I know,
done. Like,
I was
damn it.
writing that
And
down
do you
the
know-
other day.
Do you know, and this is the truth, so we got to this will maybe be something for Haas, that August 15th will be the 50th anniversary of the U.S. coming off the gold standard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to have a little
We need to
party.
do something about that.
That's actually we do need to have a party. That's August 15th. What day does that fall under? Ooh, that's a Sunday. Maybe we work something out.
Oh,
maybe
Brian,
it's a special edition.
Brian's
Sunday.
live
It's a special
stream.
edition.
Oh,
We can talk about-
perfect.
Yes, a
Perfect.
special edition
A
on
whole,
Sunday,
a
August
whole
15th.
episode about inflation in the
I
gold
don't even
standard.
know.
Oh,
A
Ryan's
whole-
like,
I'll be
no.
there.
Oh
I'll be
my
there.
gosh. A whole episode
Imagine
on
that.
inflation.
Talking about Jerome Powell, like manipulating the money supply. Yeah, it'd be
You
great.
see how excited she
Every
gets
time
about
we talk about
inflation?
Listen,
It was like when she was a kid looking out the window for Santa.
one day it's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Wild.
Yeah,
It's
and
awesome.
Nancy can and the whole thing could be Nancy going crazy about inflation.
We'll call it the Dant rant.
the rant on inflation.
That's
Anyways.
I'd rather be wrong about inflation and have a shit ton of gold and crypto than be right about inflation, right? So
That's right. So Ken, what do you got going on this week?
Yard work.
Yes.
That's it.
Glamorous.
Yeah. And watching Sheba, of course. Okay, there we go.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
I'm
There you
actually
go.
watching the Bone token, not Sheba, but Sheba's Bone.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that doesn't
Oh
sound good.
boy.
No, but
No.
Sheba has a bone, and I'm looking at that doesn't sound good either.
Yeah. No,
There's a
that's
token with Sheba
freaking
called
bone
Bone,
here.
and that's the token I'm looking at right now.
yeah. You don't want to be saying, "Look, I'm watching my bone," like that. Just
no.
no.
See, if this was
Watch
guys,
your
we'd never
bones
go
up
there.
and down, eh, bud?
Yes, you would.
We would not.
Yes, you would.
No, it's
And
like
it-
a skeleton in the closet.
Anyways, Marky Mark, what are you doing?
Well, aside from working with you all week, getting ready for football. So
There you go. That's amazing. So when you
studying for
start,
the season.
will you start planning your show?
Yeah, we've already started. So, but right now, just doing a lot of research, getting ready for week one, and making some good predictions.
Is training camp opened?
Training camp is open, yeah, for the pros, and I think next week for college.
Oh, see, there you go. So you'll have to start getting us some information and where so we can start putting your stuff up here. And
Yeah.
listen, the only other person that feels your pain is Tim Perry, because he used to have to work with me. Now he didn't have to work with me every day quite the way you did, but Tim Perry feels your pain just the same way.
Well, he worked the
It's
bar and the things
not
got too
pain.
much. It was
It's
That's not
we
pain.
have, if for the people that are seeing how Nancy is on this call, this is pretty much what we deal with all day long. So this is it.
There you go. See, authentically who I am. I'll pay you your $50 later. Anyways, do you have anything interesting on the rest of this week?
I don't know. I haven't looked at your list yet.
Oh, there you go. See, that's a good answer, honey.
The honeydew list.
That's called well trained. That's
That's it. It's true.
I was gonna
You
make
know-
a whip
Bone.
crack sound. I didn't feel that it was tasteful, you know.
Ka-ching. Well, you know what? His list is usually longer than mine. Anyways, this has been great. Thank you so much, everybody, for your time yet again. We look forward to doing this again next week on Crypto Night in Canada. And for our wonderful viewers, thank you so much for joining. We can't have as much fun without you. Anyways, we'll talk to you guys next week.
Night, y'all.
Night.
Night.
Bye, Octo.
Buy Bitcoin.